Are you eating clean, hitting the gym, getting your sleep, and still watching your energy and strength slowly disappear? The problem might not be what you're not doing. It might be what's on your plate every single day. Some foods actively suppress your testosterone without you knowing it. Stay with me, because point 3 is going to change how you look at your grocery list forever. Point 1. Why testosterone drops after 40. And why your diet is the trigger. Most men assume the testosterone drop after 40 is just biology. Inevitable, unstoppable. And yes, testosterone does decline naturally. Free testosterone drops roughly 1 to 1.3% per year after age 35, and total testosterone declines even more gradually. But here's what the research actually shows. Lifestyle and diet can either accelerate that decline dramatically or slow it down to almost nothing. A study using N. Haney's data published in the Journal of Urology found that men following low-fat dietary patterns had measurably lower testosterone levels than men of the same age eating nutrient-dense, higher-fat diets. Same age, completely different hormonal profiles. The reason comes down to 3 biological mechanisms: chronic inflammation, insulin resistance, and micronutrient deficiency. Your body needs specific raw materials, zinc, magnesium, vitamin D, healthy fats, to manufacture testosterone. When those are missing, production drops. When inflammation is high, an enzyme called aromatase converts your testosterone into estrogen. And when insulin resistance sets in, the entire hormonal cascade gets disrupted. Your body isn't broken, it's just missing the right fuel. The good news? These are all dietary variables, meaning you have more control over your testosterone levels than any doctor has probably told you. But before we get to what you should eat, we need to talk about what's silently working against your levels right now. And one of them is something most healthy men consume every single morning without a second thought. Point 2. The foods quietly working against your testosterone. Let's start with one that surprises almost everyone: processed vegetable oils. Canola, soybean, corn oil are high in omega-6 fatty acids. When the omega-6 to omega-3 ratio gets out of balance, and in the average Western diet it can reach 21 instead of the ideal 4, systemic inflammation rises. And chronic inflammation is one of the most consistent suppressors of testosterone production in the research literature. There's a specific food combination that counteracts this directly, and we'll get to it in point 3. But first, let's finish clearing the field. Ultra-processed carbohydrates. White bread, pastries, sugary cereals spike insulin rapidly. Chronically elevated insulin promotes fat storage, particularly visceral fat. And visceral fat is loaded with aromatase, the enzyme that converts your testosterone directly into estrogen. This is one of the most well-documented mechanisms behind low testosterone in men over 40, and it's almost entirely diet-driven. You're not eating junk food, you're eating the wrong healthy food. Then there's alcohol. Chronic alcohol consumption is well documented across multiple studies to reduce testosterone levels and directly impair Leydig cell function, the cells in your testes responsible for producing testosterone. It also increases cortisol and burdens the liver, which plays a central role in hormone metabolism. This isn't about the occasional drink. It's about the pattern. Now, I want to address something before we move on, because this one gets debated constantly. Soy. You've probably heard that soy kills testosterone. The reality is more nuanced. At normal dietary amounts, the current evidence does not show a significant reduction in testosterone from soy consumption. Where the concern becomes more legitimate is at very high intakes, above 70 milligrams of isoflavones per day, where some studies show effects on estrogen markers. If you're having soy occasionally, it's unlikely to be your problem. If soy is the base of every meal and every protein shake, that's worth reconsidering. Now here's the part most people miss. It's not just about removing these foods. It's about what you replace them with, and the specific combination of nutrients that actually rebuilds testosterone production from the ground up. We've covered why testosterone drops and what's accelerating it, but here's where it gets interesting. Because the foods that rebuild your hormonal baseline aren't expensive superfoods or exotic supplements. Most of them are already in your grocery store. And when you combine them the right way, the effect on your hormonal profile is measurable within weeks. Let's get into the actual diet. Point 3. The testosterone diet. What to eat and why. Healthy fats first. Testosterone is a steroid hormone. It is synthesized from cholesterol, Men who eat very low-fat diets consistently show lower testosterone levels. A meta-analysis published in the Journal of Steroid Biochemistry and Molecular Biology by researchers at the University of Worcester found that low-fat diets reduced testosterone by 10 to 15% on average across multiple controlled studies. The key is the type of fat. Prioritize extra virgin olive oil, avocados, whole eggs, and fatty fish like salmon and sardines. These provide the cholesterol and omega-3 fatty acids your body needs to produce testosterone and reduce the inflammation that destroys it. Low fat doesn't mean healthy. For testosterone, it means low T. Zinc and magnesium are the two most critical minerals for testosterone production, and the two most commonly deficient in men over 40. Zinc is required for the enzymatic conversion that drives testosterone synthesis. Magnesium reduces SHBG, sex hormone-binding globulin, which frees up more of your testosterone to actually be used by your body rather than sitting bound and inactive. Best food sources: oysters, the highest zinc food on the planet. One serving covers your entire daily requirement. Pumpkin seeds, grass-fed beef, dark leafy greens, and dark chocolate at 70% cacao or higher. A quick note here: you don't need to eat all of these every day. Pick 2 or 3 that fit your routine and rotate them through the week. Consistency beats perfection every time. By the way, if you want to know exactly how to structure these foods into a weekly meal plan that optimizes testosterone throughout the day, I have a complete breakdown in my nutrition series. Link in the description. It takes everything you're learning here and puts it into a practical day-by-day system. Don't skip it if you're serious about your results. Cruciferous vegetables. Broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, kale contain a compound called indole-3 carbinol, which supports the liver's ability to metabolize and eliminate excess estrogen. Less circulating estrogen means a better testosterone to estrogen ratio. This is one of the most underrated dietary strategies for men over 40, and almost nobody in the fitness space talks about it. Real talk. Are you team diet controls your hormones? Or do you think testosterone is mostly genetic and age-related? Drop your take in the comments. This one splits people right down the middle, and I want to see where you stand. Point 4. The protein strategy. Most men over 40 get wrong. Here's where I need to push back on something popular right now: the more protein is always better narrative. Because for testosterone, it's not that simple. Adequate protein is essential, no question. But excessive intake, particularly from heavily processed protein powders loaded with artificial sweeteners and fillers, can increase cortisol and stress the liver and kidneys, organs that play a direct role in hormone regulation. The research suggests the practical sweet spot for men over 40 is 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, prioritizing whole food sources: eggs, grass-fed beef, wild-caught fish, and legumes. We've covered the foods working against your testosterone and the core dietary pillars that rebuild it. But there's one more piece that ties everything together. And it's not a specific food. It's a timing and lifestyle factor that determines whether everything you just learned actually works. This is the part most diet guides completely ignore. Stay with me. And here's the detail that surprises most people. Whole eggs specifically. The yolk contains cholesterol, vitamin D, zinc, and selenium, all direct precursors to testosterone synthesis. Research comparing men who eat whole eggs versus egg whites only shows measurably higher anabolic hormone markers in the whole egg group. The yolk isn't the enemy. For testosterone, it's the point. It's not about eating more protein. It's about eating the right protein. Point 5. The timing and lifestyle factors that make or break the diet. You can eat all the right foods and still undermine your testosterone if you ignore these variables. Meal timing and fasting. Intermittent fasting, specifically a 16-8 eating window, has been shown in multiple studies to improve insulin sensitivity and support growth hormone output, both of which create a more favorable hormonal environment for testosterone. However, extended fasting beyond 24 hours can raise cortisol significantly and suppress testosterone. For men over 40, the sweet spot is a moderate eating window, not extreme restriction. Caloric deficit. Being in a chronic, aggressive caloric deficit is one of the fastest ways to crash your testosterone. Your body interprets severe restriction as a survival threat and downregulates reproductive hormones as a direct response. If fat loss is your goal, keep your deficit moderate, no more than 300 to 500 calories below maintenance. That's enough to lose fat without signaling hormonal shutdown. Starving yourself doesn't just cost you fat, It costs you testosterone. Sleep. This one is non-negotiable. The majority of testosterone is produced during deep sleep, specifically during slow wave and REM cycles. A study from the University of Chicago found that men who slept 5 hours per night for 1 week had testosterone levels 10 to 15% lower than when they slept 8 hours. No diet in the world compensates for chronic sleep deprivation. None. And cortisol, the stress hormone, is testosterone's direct antagonist. When cortisol is chronically elevated from poor sleep, overtraining, or aggressive caloric restriction, testosterone production is suppressed at the hormonal level. Managing stress isn't a soft lifestyle tip, it's a core part of the testosterone diet. Be honest, how many of the dietary mistakes we covered today are you currently making? Drop a number in the comments. 1 means you're already dialed in. 5 means you've got real work to do. No judgment, we're all here to get better. Here's the truth about testosterone after 40. The decline is real, but it is not a death sentence. The men who feel the worst, the fatigue, the low drive, the disappearing strength, aren't victims of age. They're victims of information they never had. Your body is still capable of producing optimal testosterone levels, but it needs the right environment. The right fats, the right minerals, the right protein sources, managed inflammation, quality sleep, and a caloric intake that supports, not starves, your hormonal system. To recap, cut the inflammatory oils and the ultra-processed carbs. Build your diet around healthy fats, zinc, magnesium, whole eggs, cruciferous vegetables, and quality whole food protein. Protect your sleep like it's a training variable, because it is. Manage your cortisol, and stop treating your body like it's already past its prime, because the science says otherwise. If you want the complete step-by-step meal plan that puts all of this into a practical weekly structure, with exact foods, portions, and timing, it's all in my Advanced Nutrition series. Link is right in this screen. And if this video gave you even one insight that changes how you eat, hit that subscribe button. I put out science-backed content for men who want to perform at their best. No fluff, no gimmicks, just what the research actually says. New video every week.